All right, good evening and welcome to this special edition of Showtime TV. I'm your host, Omar Rashada. March is Women's History Month, and this is part two of my Women's Special in honor of Women's History Month. And today's topic of discussion is women in the arts. All right, so we got some fascinating ladies joining me this evening to discuss their careers, their prospects, and all the other great stuff that's going on in their lives. We have Latoya Clark, and we have Terry Lyons. Ladies, good evening, and thank you for being a guest on tonight's program.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Great.
Yes,
So
indeed.
we're gonna start off with Latoya. We're gonna start off with Latoya to see to start off. What is it that you do, and how did you get involved in the arts?
Well, of course, my name is Latoya, and I am a fashion designer. I'm an actress, a model, a choreographer, a trainer, a fitness trainer. I'm a little bit of everything. You can put me all in the salad. But I got how I got involved in the arts. I've always been creative. All my life, I've been very creative, and I always wanted to always be the reason why people smile, the reason why people see the good within them, always see the beautiful within to out. So I just kind of was like, I need to help develop the youth. And not only to develop the youth, I had to develop the people around the youth. Because in order to develop the youth, you have to develop what's around the youth. So that's how I got involved. I started like teaching students, and my passion became the youth. Because I feel as though I believe the children are our future. Like the song of Michael Jackson, I believe the children are our future. So that's how I got involved in the arts.
Yeah, that's Whitney Houston.
Whitney Houston, yes.
The greatest love of all. Oh, yeah, that's
yes.
She's actually my favorite female singer of all time. Actually, it's a lot of good ones out there, but for her, she's my number one. All right, Terry. So how did you get involved in the arts, and what is it that you do?
Well, I came from the corporate world, and that was kind of my launching pad to get involved in the arts. I found the mainstream life rather one-dimensional. I found it rather boring, and I found it insidiously deceptive. And so it escaped a lot of truths that I believe that our culture is hungry for. So that's when I began to get into really history. Started with history, with family history, and also with the grit of history that we don't get in academia. I brought that into the world of poetry, the sort of kind of like short stories with a poetic twist, which led into storytelling, which led into theater. So it multiplied, it's kind of a new version of being fruitful and multiplying. So it went of the gamut. And like Sister Latoya, I also brought this to our young people, for them to have a place to be free, not only to learn something closer to the truth that they need to navigate this world today, but also a place where they can develop themselves and be able to critically think for themselves while discovering relevant elements of history, of the arts, of women that is absent from public discourse.
Right. Yeah, staying with the youth, because there are a lot of people who love working with the youth. There are a lot of people who love being mentors for the youth, as well as education and information. Latoya, your group, you have a dance group which performed in one of the programs I did for Black History Month last month, and they did an outstanding job. How did you go about creating that youth group?
Well, I started off with just playing around with a couple of my daughter's friends as they were younger. But then I was just like, I need to make this a place. I need to get a place. I need to get a building. I need to do all this. I need to make this legal so that I can start to get the help that I would need to keep the program going. So back in 2018, that's when I decided I went back. 2018. That's when we became the official Fashion Steppers. I got a nonprofit organization. I got a accountant and stuff to show me direction so I can be book wise, paper wise. So when people do want to help me, they'll see that I'm legally in place. So then I just started recruiting friends, and I started just practicing outside on the streets, basically. And then I saw students coming, parents coming, and stuff like that. So I just started drawing attention. And then I would ask these children when they came in, What is your talent? What do you like to do? So what I did was I used the gifts that they already came in. I built on those, and then I taught them what I already knew. Like I taught them dance, drumline, drill team, because all three of them require structure. So I use that to teach structure and foundation to the youth, to let them know how important it is to have a strong structure and a strong foundation. So that's how I became. And then I just began to grow and to grow and grow. So I just began to pay attention to the youth. I let them have a safe place where they can call home. Then they started trusting in me. So when I didn't give no option to say no. I kind of like what I did was I cared about what they did. So I just kept on getting youth from all over the place. I would walk around when I see other kids and stuff like that. Soon I see them looking out the thing and smiling. I'm like, come on over, you can join. Come on over, you can join. I'll be telling the parents they can come, because to me, youth are not just age-wise. Youth or it can be an adult, because people can be suffering from youthful trauma that they have not overgrown. So they have not overcome their trials and tribulations. So when I say youth, I mean all ages. And I don't discriminate, I don't discriminate nothing. Whatever you want to do, if you want to come there and sing, we're going to sing. If you want to do poetry, we're going to do poetry. If you want to paint, we're going to paint. If you want to pick rocks, we're going to pick rocks. Whatever your interest is, I'm going to build on that skill. And then that'll help you get out your own way, because that builds confidence once they figure out that they can become successful and that something that they adore matters, that helps them to grow confidence and help them to get out their own way.
Right. So you have a lot of youth. So I know that as an adult, you don't do this by yourself. You have other adults who I would assume assist you, or your assistants. So do you have assistants, and what's it like bringing them on board?
Yes, I have assisted. I actually have 1, 2, 3. I have 4 coaches. I have one coach that she teaches. She does more of the praise dance and the majorette and the cheerleading, more of those type of dances. Then I also have 2 male choreographers, and then I also have a drum instructor. So how do I bring them on to? What I do is they come along, they start one of them is a parent of one of them is just like 2 of them, all of them are models inside my fashion group. So I keep the group growing and moving them all through the direction. So I bring them into there, and then when they show interest, well, actually, I put them in interest. And then when they show it, I start to see where their mind is. I allow them to interact with the youth, but I always do a background check, because you got to make sure that is always in place, to make sure that they had a background check or currently have one, because you can't be dealing with youth. Then I make sure that they are, in fact, treating the youth as has the same mindset and the thought process of youth that I do. Not that I got to make sure that you like kids. I got to make sure that you have patience. I got to make sure you have understanding. I got to make sure you have, I got to make sure that your mind is focused. So I meet with them. I talk to them. I express what I say. I express my mission and my vision to every last one of them. And then I see if their mission and their vision aligns with it. Because if it doesn't align, then it's not going to fall in place.
Right.
Yes.
That sounds great. So Terry, I want to ask you this, same question. How do you go about recruiting your youth that you work with?
I started off with other programs, other people's programs, as an assistant. And so the youth were already in place. And I came in to assist those who were leading the plays or the dance routines. That's how it began. And so now that later led me into teaching a class, and that actually started during the pandemic. When everything was shut down, there were virtual places where students could go, so they would have access to Wi-Fi, and they could learn their lessons of the day, which I was kind of like a tutor. And then after school, again, the students are already in place, and I would teach them a little skits. I had one called a Harlem Afternoon. That's it, a Harlem Afternoon, which was mostly for the young boys to know the importance of how there were Black men that had everything going against them during the Great Depression. The lynching was going on, Northern migration was going on, but the jazz music and the literature was hot, right? And so now these young Black men can come together and actually become characters from the Harlem Renaissance who made an impactful contribution on a society. Later, I was called out to different places to bring my work to different places. When the truth comes out, mostly for young girls learning about Black women in history that we don't get in academia. And so presently, I'm working with a local group with a foundation that's a theater club. And again, the children are already in place. I come to the children to give them the basics of theater, the discipline of theater, and the focus of theater, and also helping them to develop their own script. So they're not stuck with like, here are your lines, learn this. No, they can use their imagination, the power of their imagination to develop a script in their name, right? And bring it to life. And then when the parents come in, the recital comes in, they're even more proud because they have ownership of the recital piece.
Right. So in terms of your writing, it seems though that you like to write things based on the, you can correct me if I'm wrong, based on the history of African Americans. There are other writers who focus on comedy, who may focus on stuff like drama, but also cover African American history as well. They write, maybe also write on classical type writings. So why did you decide to write from a historical standpoint, in particular, the history of African Americans?
I found that not only were we over scrutinized and undervalued, there are only one or two people that most folks learn about in history. For example, you take women in our history, we have about maybe 4 or 5 women that are kind of recycled over and again. And so I became frustrated because I know what it's like to work hard, to give all you have and to make a change in life. And you're completely marginalized. Case in point would be bus boycott. I always use that as a perfect example. Bus boycott, where we go? Rosa Parks, God bless her. But we do not touch on Joanne Robinson, who was the coordinator, right? She's the one who did the off-camera, unglamorous work that was behind the bus boycott. I felt as though there's a need for the whole story to be told, for the bigger picture to be presented. So when we honor these people, and rightly so, we have to know that there is a reservoir of people who've never gotten the credit or the recognition, who are actually the power, the engine. They kept the momentum going to give us the privileges and the life that we are able to enjoy today.
Awesome. I think both of you had the opportunity to perform in a play or two. So let's talk about acting for a little bit. Let's start off with Terry. Terry, what are some of the plays and roles that you have performed in?
The latest play I was in was my own. It's entitled When the Truth Comes Out. And again, it's about 9 Black women we do not get in history.
Ooh.
I actually had to fill in because the actor got sick, and you know how it goes in theater sometimes, and the show must go on. So with the first round, I was Daisy Bates. I was Daisy Bates, who was the mother of the Little Rock Nine, all right? And so how theater goes for me, how it went for me during that is that first I was thrown into something I was totally, utterly not prepared to do. But I found that, and I found this out a long time ago, but it just kind of developed stronger as time goes on, is that when you're in that moment, your organic strength, your visceral determination kind of takes over that role, and it brings the character to life. And then the second rendition I did, who was it? It was Joanne Robinson. I had to play the part of Joanne Robinson. And so when I find that I can bring the spirit of our ancestors into my soul, give me room. Give me room. I just love that room to express our ancestors, to bring it to life, and then, or knowing that the audience will leave knowing something more than when they entered. That's my mission.
Awesome. All right, Latoya.
Yes. Well, I have been in two stage plays. My first stage play that I ever was in was called Mama's Know Best by Rick Watson. I actually played Tracy, which was a younger, spicy, I'm gonna say sassy, sarcastic younger sister. And I was always just snapping at everybody that was in there. My mom always had to get on me because I was just extra about it. And then my next one, my most recent play, I played the narrator, which was it was just three men and three women, the story of six strangers. And that play, I can do two plays. That play was different from the first play that I did. So the both experiences was two different lessons. Like one, I was acting as a character and I had to bring with the director wanted me to bring to that character. I had to bring that character alive. And in this second play, which is with Omar, it gave me, I'm honored. I'm so excited. We're gonna do it again. This kind of play caused me to narrate. So it allowed me to sit back and actually learn and listen and kind of navigate through, I'm gonna say like a vessel throughout the play, because me navigating and listening to the story was allowing me to connect each character with somebody in my life that I know. It's like every one of all six of them people, I know somebody, all six of them people that experience what all the six people do. So I'm like, it was two different things. And I'm like, oh, I like this.
Well, that's the great thing about acting. It's its flexibility. You're having many opportunities to play different roles. And speaking of roles, I want to ask you both to start off with Latoya. What type of character would you, that maybe you haven't played yet, or maybe you have played that you would absolutely enjoy playing? And then what type of character would you refuse to play?
Well, the type of character that I would refuse to play would be, I'm gonna say one that I don't would like some like a molester or somebody who touched it in inappropriate, like did inappropriate behavior on that type of level. Only because of like I know so many people that have been through that, and that kind of hits me in my stomach. That has to do with anything like child abuse. I wouldn't want to play nothing like that because I teach. To me, it goes against what I teach. Even though I know it's a character, but it's something inside my gut be like, don't do it, because why am I playing it if I don't agree with it? Even though I know that is, but the character I would love to play one day is like an action character, kind of like Will and Martin in Bad Boys, kind of like a cop, an agent or something. I would love to play something like
You
that,
want to be like
action packed.
you want to be like those ladies on Black Panther, the first Panther one.
I like action. I like action roles, funny roles. Like it's like a whole host of roles I would love to play. Like I don't have like one zone in, but I would love to touch on as many roles as I can feel, just to challenge myself and to learn. Because with each play I've learned. Like with your play, Omar, I learned. Like you explained it, how you wanted, you started your vision, the way you detailed each character in, and how it connected. It was like a learning experience. It was like I was inside of a book, reading a book in detail what was going on, kind of like a movie reel just going on, like this person. It was like I could really relate into the. And then with the other play, Mama Knows Best, it was like this is the character. I had to actually go inside myself, bring out the character, not what I thought the character should be, with the director's image that the character needs to be. That's what I have learned with an actor. It's not what you want the character to be, it's what the director is directing you to bring forth out of that character.
Right. Okay. So Terry, what type of roles would you enjoy playing? What roles that you may absolutely not do, if any role like that exists?
I would absolutely not do anything that denigrates women. I am not going to play the whore, the streetwalker, the addict, anything that's negative. I'm not going. No, I'm just not. I'm not too impressed with playing slave roles. I'm just not. My passion would rest in a role where perhaps a woman has a problem, where she may come from a dark place, but there's a redemptive spirit that comes in some point in time during the play, right? Where she sees perhaps the error of her way and she grows to look for that forgiveness or the growth, or she's able to finally give back to her family, to her community. I like humor. I like humor. I have no problem going on stage making a fool of myself if it's going to get the people laughing, but I want there to be a greater vision underneath that humor, right? There's something to get under that humor. So that's what I really like. I could go for roles like that.
Yeah.
You know, Latoya, in addition to acting, there are those such as yourself who do acting as well as modeling. So you and I guess really first came in contact as a result of me seeing you on YouTube. And you were in Indiana, I believe, and you
Yes.
were in a modeling contest, if you will, and you became the top winner. So I want you to talk about your career as being a model. Like, for example, why did you want to become a model? What led you to become a model? And what's the experience like being a model?
Well, actually, when I was in Indiana, I was actually competing in my first pageant. My
Okay.
first pageant ever. And that's why I won the national title of Miss Grand Royal Elite and the state title of Miss Essence World Elite in Delaware. So that's why I was competing when you saw me of my first pageant, and I did bring home 2 crowns, and I'm excited for myself and I'm proud. And for as far as a model, like I kind of like accident, like I'm gonna say I did it on accident because I wanted to be the visual and the tangible asset that people see that a model doesn't have to be the stereotypical model that we see on TV. A model is, everybody is a model to me because everybody is a model and everybody can exemplify fashion because fashion is trending. Trending can be anything from a word that you say, a slang that you use, and just the way you built up yourself. So me as being a model is to showcase that I'm different. I can be different. I can be myself, and a model can come from all different types of background. And I've loved modeling. I've been all over the place modeling, and that's what made me be a fashion designer. And that's why I pick my models for my fashion show. Everybody can be a model for my fashion show. It doesn't have, the only thing, if you give me 100%, you're a model in my fashion show. So it's like, to me, it's like, I am opening up the door for everybody to know that I can be whatever I want to be. I can be a model if I want to be a model. I don't have to fit in any like manufacturer stereotypical box. I can be an out of boxer and still reach my goals.
Mhm.
So in terms of you open up the door for anyone. So are you looking for? So are you saying that you're looking for petite models, full figure models, BBW models, et cetera, black, white,
Yes.
Spanish?
I'm looking for all shapes, all sizes, all colors, all ethnicities and backgrounds and everything. Like for me, or models of all, any type of model that comes in there. As long as you have a good attitude, you have the confidence. Of course, I'm gonna build it if it ain't there, but I'm gonna get it there. As long I'm looking for all types of models because I put them in, and I dress because a model to me is your personality. A model to me is a person that can touch somebody else, that can pour into somebody else. But at first, you got to pour into them sometimes before they can be able to blossom and pour into other people. So to me, I'm looking for all types of models at all types of times. I'm looking for petite, small, medium, large, BBW, extra BBW, anything, challenge, any type of model there is, come on to me and I bet you're going to be the greatest model you ever been.
Wow.
Well, so let me ask you a follow-up question. Either one of you can answer this in regards to models, because sometimes we look at models, there's this thing that you may have to have like fairer skin, Eurocentric features. Do you see that changing, or do you still see modeling agencies, commercials, casting directors, and so on, still looking at that stereotypical thing where you might have to be skinny, maybe lighter skin, long hair, Eurocentric features? Anyone of you could address that, because
Okay,
you have it in modeling, you also have it in acting as well. All right.
Okay, I see that changing on the small scale. When I say a small scale, compared to those agencies that already are stuck in habit, because there's a lot of places when you go to, like if you go to like New York Fashion Week, or you go to somewhere, they have a particular look they're looking for, a particular type of model you have to be. You have to be a certain height, a certain thing. I think it's the industry which you go into, but I do see it changing on different scales in different smaller avenues, because as you look more with the, you know, the technology and the YouTube, the Instagram, the Facebook and everything like that, you'll see models are starting to vary in different shapes and different sizes, as opposed to, I think it's changed on scales. So now instead of just being a model where it was just taking over one whole scale, now modeling starting to expand to a different, on different scales. So, you know, if you want to go to this type of model, you know, you have to fit this certain criteria. So now you have an avenue for each model to go into. That's what I see opening now more, as compared to back in the day. It was just this type of model and that was it. But now I see it on a different scale. You got models all different shapes, sizes, genders, religious backgrounds, you know, ethnic backgrounds, features and stuff like that. But I think the scale is moving up. It's on the smaller scale right now, but I think it's moving up. And it has different levels. So if you want to be on this level, you want to be on this level, and you get to pick and choose now. I think it's a lot more where you can choose from.
All right. So Terry, let me ask you that same question from an acting standpoint, because sometimes when you look at certain roles, you know, they want certain looks as well.
Yeah, I agree that it has changed a lot. Now, I don't know so much about the modeling, but as far as acting or any other kind of performance art, I've seen where you have people, again, all shapes, sizes, ages that are coming out, and also an accentuation of natural beauty,
Okay.
where the glamour is, the glamour has its place, but to elevate the natural beauty that people have, because I think we've learned that this can damage our young people who aren't, you know, the light and the beautiful hair and the European features and stuff. You really do a lot of damage to a lot of young people, and you kill them before they even get started. So when we accentuate their beauty as they are, and we go for the talent that they have in their mind, in their heart, in their spirit, I see a lot more of that in the performance art. And quite frankly, I'm happy to see it. I'm happy to see that we are who we are.
Yes.
You know? Yeah.
You know, in the acting and modeling world, I don't know if you two seen this or not. I mean, many of us have seen it. It's a word called EGO, egos.
Ego. Yes.
Oh,
And so, because, you know, when you're in a play, you may have fellow actors and actresses who have an ego, who think that they are the stars, think that things should go his or her way. And modeling, you may have those that may think that they are the top of the notch. Nobody's better than them. So in terms of people who may want to get into acting and modeling, or people who are already in acting and modeling, and may have an issue with ego, what do you ladies say about that?
With the issue with the ego, what I would say too, well, my advice, what I say, because I do run across people that has the ego that say, why do I have to do this? I already have this. I could do this. I've been modeling for so many years. I've been this, I've been that. But yet you got to know, anytime you enter into somebody else's room, you come underneath somebody else's designer, somebody else's rim, you have to reintroduce yourself. You can't go in there, because what I'm looking for, the next designer may not be looking for. What you're looking for, the next director may not be looking for. So they have to be able to humble themselves, to be able to reintroduce themselves. And also what I say, tell them that they need to become a true master. And to be a true master is someone that knows that they don't know everything. They're not above everything, that they always, each day, they encounter something, so they learn it with each day. Each day they continue to grow. So when they master that, that's when I think the ego will go. But outside of that, I would say those who do have egos, you know, they ego struck. They got to be able to be able to humble themselves and look at not what you have accomplished, but what are you still going for? If you accomplish this, you can't hit that ceiling and block yourself, because you're going to hinder your blessings. You're going to hinder your growth if you become too egotistical, pompous. If you start to become, I'm better than this, because you're not going to ever learn. And with each day, we're technology, the world is changing. So you got to be able to learn and
That's
grow.
right.
And if you don't learn and grow, you're not going to develop. If you don't develop, you're not going to blossom. So I would say with the egos, they do have to go, but you run into them. But there's a way to get through those egos by just simply, I simply say, well, I understand you have this, like you have to me, I say, I understand you have this and you present me with this, but yeah, I don't know you. And this is what I'm looking for. So you have to reintroduce yourself to me. You have to let me know that you have what it takes to bring my vision to life. Not what your vision is. You have to understand that my vision is what I need brought to life, not your vision. We have to come together, meet a happy median.
Right.
Absolutely. Flexibility.
Yes.
That's the word for me, flexibility. I haven't cornered the market on anything, and I haven't met anyone who has. And I think when you walk in the door, just with that frame of mind alone, we can work together.
Yes.
Because we all have strengths, we all have weak. I don't care how long you've been in the game. I don't care where
Exactly.
you've been. I don't care what you know. We all have strengths, we all have weaknesses, and there's always somebody who can blow you out of the room. You need to know that. You need
Exactly.
to know that, right? Because I've seen people who thought that they were, all of that, and they were pretty good.
Yeah.
They were pretty good. But then somebody else came in the room and made
Mhm.
everybody sit down. So
Yeah.
there's always somebody who can make everybody sit down. And that, to me, can keep your ego in check. It
Yes.
really can, like you said, to be humble. There's
Yes.
nothing wrong with being humble. It doesn't mean
Nope.
that you're cutting yourself short or that
Nope.
you're inefficient or deficient or anything like that. But we're all on a learning curve.
Yeah.
And I don't think you ever get there. I don't care. You could have just won the Oscar the other night. We never get there.
Right.
So yeah, I'm going to work with you because I got to figure, what do you want? What was that again? Can I really deliver? Okay, I tell you what, LaToya, work with me. Help
Yeah.
me get to where you need me to be to get this whole program off the ground and running.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yes,
there
indeed.
you
I
go.
agree. Yes. Yes.
Right. I feel you, baby.
Right now. Yes, indeed.
Well, earlier we talked about theater, and one of the things that I love about theater is performing in front of a live audience.
Yeah.
Because when you in a play, like for example, we did 3 Men, 3 Women, the stories of 6 strangers, and both times, especially the first time, boy, the audience was talking. You get a room full of people, boy, and those audience be talking. So what do you two enjoy most about performing in front of a live audience, whether it's acting or in LaToya's case, modeling as well?
Yes, I enjoy the energy that I get from the audience, from the surrounding thing. I enjoy the energy because the energy they give to me feeds me. Is actually fuel to where I need to go. It kind of guides me, if that makes any sense. Like I can be doing a character and I can go like, oh, I'm not really catching what they need. So then I can transition or switch gears in order to bring where they need to go. Because they'll talk to you. They'll tell you what they want, what they need. So the energy from the audiences, that's what I love by performing live and being live. It's like you can touch them without touching them. You can get that, you can feel them without even touching them. So it's like they feed me that fuel to get me where I need to go at. Actually, they give me the confidence. They actually give me more confidence by saying different things. And they kind of like, so, sometimes when you're acting or your model, you lost in your mind sometimes because you're nervous or you're understanding. But being in front of a live audience, they can help calm you without even knowing. They can help direct you without even knowing. So I like the energy and just, the guidance that they give me when I'm in front of them.
Right. Terry?
Working with theater and also even occasion being MC, and I did have an occasion to be narrator. I love the spiritual connection that you can get from people. And sometimes it's just a simple, ooh,
Right.
you
Sound
can
effects.
hear, you can hear that, or you can hear somebody say, oh, there it is, you get a hallelujah moment going back there somewhere. There's always an amen corner somewhere in that audience when you hit a nerve. And I think that's what I like. I like hitting the nerve of love, hitting the nerve of enlightenment, hitting the nerve of shock, and even hitting the nerve of anger. I like going through this range of humanity that lets me know that I've awakened something in them and hopefully to a constructive end. I love that.
Yes, yes, indeed.
And then I always love the roll call at the end where your name's being called and you come out and take a bow and your people out there shouting, going.
Yes.
But just as important is when the play is over and the audience members in the lobby, and you go out and you meet and greet the audience, and they ask for your autographs, ask to take pictures with you. Man, it's a great feeling.
It's a high. You get high.
Yes, yes, indeed, you do.
So since this is Women's History Month, I want to ask you, ladies, and we'll start off with Terry. Who are some of the women that you admire the most in the arts?
Oh, in the arts. Ooh,
Oh.
Viola Davis.
Oh yeah, she's awesome.
Viola Davis she's so real. It's almost as if she has reached into my soul and pulled something out and put it on screen. It doesn't matter what role she's playing. I'm talking about how rich she is in her performance. You know, I saw her not too long ago on, I think it was The View, somewhere where she was being interviewed. Yeah. And she goes down in the basement, not only as a culture of how we treat people, but even as how some African Americans treat other African Americans, the intra-cultural damage that we do to one another, and her resilience to overcome that and be such a symbol of beauty, grace, and dignity on screen. I love Viola Davis.
Right. All right, Latoya.
Ooh, that's a tough question.
Well, we got to honor the Women's History Month. I got to get it out there. You know?
I know, but I'm gonna say I'm gonna say Patti LaBelle.
Hey.
Yeah, like it's just when I look at Patti LaBelle, she looks like home to me. She looks welcoming. She looks embracing. She looks nurturing. You're like nurturing. She looks like a vessel that will just, if you feel like you fell, she can hold you up in her strong arms. She's just like to me, she seems like a comfort player, and she's powerful. Like the way she carried herself, she looks like dominance just walking. You know, to me, that's what she like. Brazilians just walking. And then when she sings, it's just like that, the control where she can go high levels, low levels, bring it in there without even looking like she's struggling. It's look like she's just doing things effortlessly. But you know that she's doing a struggle because you can feel the emotion behind everything. So I would say Patti LaBelle.
Now, keep in mind, the question was woman, not just one woman. So if you ladies have a couple other women that you want to admire, it's not just one. So I know you got more than one.
Yes, indeed. I would say Angela Bassett too. I love Angela Bassett.
Yes.
I watch her because the passion that I see in her eyes, like if you look inside Angela Bassett's eyes, anytime she's acting, anytime she's talking, it's like her eyes is telling a story that her mouth has yet to mention to you yet. Like her eyes they gaze a lot. And it's like she's passionate about everything that she says. You can see that she not only thinks with her mind, but she thinks with her heart. So together the passion is so, I'm gonna say forceful, that it's just like it is intriguing. It brings everybody towards her. So her passion, I love the passion and the dominance that she has in her. She walks in her, I'm gonna say she walks in the excellence of her masculinity, meaning I can be by myself, I can do by myself, but she also dominates in her genius with the femininity, because like, I don't want to do it by myself, but I can, but let's do it together as a team.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And Angela's a bad sister, ain't she?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Speaking of Angela Bassett, did anyone see the Oscars?
I didn't get to see it. Yes, I didn't get to see it.
Okay, because there's some controversy over the best supporting actress and and she did not win. And then there was, and they showed her expression when she did not win. Jamie Lee Curtis won the Best Supporting Actress, and when Angela didn't win, she didn't stand or clap for Jamie Lee Curtis, and a lot of people took that as her being a sore loser. Uh, so I mean, if you can watch it on YouTube or Facebook, it's all over the social media. But yeah, I admire her as well. So as we close out the program for this evening, I want to start off with LaToya. Any encouraging words to other young ladies who are growing up and want to be into the arts, and then you have any upcoming events, and then what is your contact information?
I would say that my encouraging thing will reach for the stars, reach beyond the stars, do whatever you want to do, be a true and authentic self. Do not allow your trials and tribulations or what you're going through hinder you from your growth. If you overcome your trials and tribulations, you will walk into your successfulness. And that's what I would tell them. Just do. Don't try, do. A lot of people get stuck in the thing of, I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do. And don't wait, because time waits for nobody. Just do it and then learn and grow from that is. And also don't ever give up. Don't ever give up. And my social media, you can follow me here on Facebook at LaToya Brat Richards. You can follow me on Instagram at BratIQZ. That is Brat, BRATIQZ. Also, you can follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Shanae Slay Boutique. And I do have a couple events coming up. I do have my annual fashion show that is a fundraiser to raise money for my youth group, which is a nonprofit organization. My annual fashion show is coming up in August the 5th. It's going to be here in Delaware, in Newark, Delaware, at the George Wilson Community Center. And tickets and stuff are on sale now. And if you follow me on Facebook and Instagram, you can find out more information.
All right. Terry, close us out.
I would say to young people that you can have more than one career. Our culture tends to groom us in a one-dimensional road. What do you want to be when you grow up? And basically stop right there. I was a scientist, right? I was a lot of different things before I finally got into the world of art. So I would say to someone, get your education, go ahead and get the job, right? And work hard at the job. But that doesn't mean that you give up who you are. And it's through the arts that your passion, that your real passion, your message to the world can and will come out through the arts. And it's something that'll be there even long after you have passed away. So that's one way to leave a cultural footprint, is through the arts. I am available, Terry Lyons, on Facebook. Also, I'm on Instagram as Terry Night Owl. That's NITEOWL, Terry Night Owl, because I am not a fan of early morning. I am working on my play When the Truth Comes Out, and I hope to have a larger production of that play coming in October of this year. So I'm working day and night to get that off the ground.
Now, in terms of the venue, what venues are you looking at to have that being performed?
Oh, the venue will, I have to talk with the production company, but right now we're looking at venues that would be mostly in church theaters, the library of Philadelphia, downtown, and perhaps small local theaters. It would be small venues. And that depends on how the fundraising goes, because I'm in the middle of fundraising right now. So it depends on how well that goes. It could be the Academy of Music, or it could be the church basement.
Got you. All right, ladies, I'd like to thank you both for being guests for this evening, and happy Women's History Month. For those who are watching, please like, subscribe, and share. Till next time, God bless and have a safe week.
Thank you so much for having us. Thank you.
Thank you.